Bunyip's very bold, and they tell me that the Bunyip's now 1,000 years old. So you better come home quickly, and you better hide very soon, or the Bunyip's going to get you in the Bunyip.
And just like that, we're at round 4 of Terrified Thursdays, a weekly series devoted to the horrific, weird, and the unknown. Today I'm going to attempt to mix things up again by covering one of the great mythological legends, an ever shape-shifting creature of the night, a tale of a monster down under, and to this very day could very well still be out there. This is the Australian Bunyip. Described as an amphibious man-eater that dwelled underneath the surface of swamps, rivers, and lakes, the Bunyip is a well-known mythological creature from the folklore and legends of the native Australian Aboriginal peoples. The earliest recorded encounter with the monster occurred in the early 1800s, primarily within the southeast region of Australia, in Victoria and New South Wales. Much later, popular newspaper articles cemented the creature into a local legend, leaving everyone to speculate. However, the Bunyip also has roots in the beliefs and stories of the Australian Aboriginals who lived in southeastern Australia. The name Bunyip originates from English analogues to Aboriginal terms like demon, devil, or imposter. It is also connected to Bunjil, an Aboriginal title for a great, powerful figure. Not to be confused with the film Benji, directed by Joe Camp. Today, Bunyip is usually considered an insult, similar to calling someone a moron, a dunce, or a dumbass. In terms of looks, there are plenty of stories that conjure up a half-human, half-fish monster with sharp fangs, mystical powers, and a penchant for eating children and women. Its booming cries are said to cause diseases such as rheumatism. Sometimes, the Bunyip has shaggy fur, tangled and dripping with swamp weeds. Sometimes it has scales or feathers. Sometimes it's the size of a small dog. Sometimes it's as big as a cow. Sometimes it's sea-like. Other times it's emu-like. Aboriginal people living along the Murray River affirm that its appearance is of frequent occurrence, but have some difficulty describing it. Its most usual form, however, is said to be that of an enormous starfish, wrote by colonist and explorer George French Angus in 1847. Let's safely say that it is collectively agreed to be an aquatic animal at the very least. The Bunyip is believed to have supernatural powers. It can alter the water level, cripple victims with its roar, and hypnotize humans to act as its slave. The Bunyip is a core element of most Australian modern-day cultures, ranging from characters being based on it in books, cartoons, movies, and comics, even Bunyip sighting tours, which are very common in Australia. There's even the Bunyip tourist attraction at Murray Bridge, which is a notorious stopover for many tourists, and also has a design that has certainly evolved over the years, from shit-your-pants monstrosity to adorable sea serpent.
It's a white.
Happy birthday!
In fact, my closest tie with the legend was in the children's book, The Bunyip of Berkeley's Creek, which I read a lot as a kid, and I believe won a few awards in the 70s. I love a lot of the illustrations, using a dark engraving style that gives it a gritty texture that suits the story, and you just don't see that as much nowadays. Added to that, I also like how it's surprisingly a very whimsical book, and doesn't ever venture into the more terrifying aspects of the Bunyip, almost offering an extended hug for the monster. It's a sweet little story about being an outcast and learning to accept yourself for who you are and what's in your nature. Look, fellas, a lot of people have their favorite urban legends and folklore specimens, and believe me, the classics are fun. I like Sasquatch, Loch Ness Monster, Mothman, the Wendigo, and Shadow People of the world, but a lot of those examples have been done to death in stories of old and in modern media. But I will say the Bunyip, on the other hand, is still a very compelling mystery, with no concrete or identifiable attributes, and a history that is scattered for every individual that has encountered it. Today, yes, scientists do not believe the Bunyip actually exists. They think that reported sightings are more likely the result of imagination, misidentification of other animals, or deliberate hoaxes. Still, you never know if you'll hear its howling in good old Australia. So, I'll see you next time on the last Terrified Thursdays.